you let go. Don't let go. Great!
Three rings for the elven kings under the sky, 7 for the dwarf lords in their halls of stone, 9 for mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the Dark Lord on his dark throne in the land of Mordor, where the shadows lie. 1 ring to rule them all, 1 ring to find them, 1 ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them in the land of Mordor, where the shadows lie.
The things which are happening today, the people who are in power in this country, the great generals from around the world who are planning wars and violence and bloodshed, all of this can be traced back to the planet Saturn.
Well, the overall perspective that creates what I call the Saturn death culture, and this is what I would need people to understand. I'm writing about a culture that promotes these occults, these death-based religions, and so on. Really, it's fundamentally based, these beliefs, on the supposed existence of an ancient golden age that was lost to humanity. And as a result of losing that golden age, there seems to have been a desire for certain groups of people to manipulate human history, the ebb and flow of peoples and nations, in order to re-enter a new golden age. In other words, provoke and create a new golden age where a selected elite would have the right to rule in the way that those who lived under the god Saturn, who is identified with the previous golden age, ruled during that time. So it's basically a story of the fall of a golden age and the efforts of certain groups and people to create a new golden age in their image, based on what they feel are the secrets that have come out of the original golden age. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, and I want to go a little deeper into listening to your conversations.
In the land of Mordor, in the fires of Mount Doom, the Dark Lord Sauron forged in secret a master ring to control all others. And into this ring...
This is fundamentally based on what I've referred to before, the warped interpretations of mythology. It goes back to understanding the storyline that has come down to us in mythology relating to the god Saturn, the father god of all the gods, his relationship to those that he brought into existence, other gods, so on, and then his ultimate demise from that position, and the role that other gods play in the death of Saturn as the father god, and the roles that humans even play. Classic example is Clash of the Titans, Theseus and the Minotaur. These kinds of stories that have been popularized show these very complex relationship between this deity and those that this deity supposedly created. Where the death of the human species becomes part of the equation, of course, is that for Saturn to be reborn, there basically is that very sinister concept of Saturn eating his children to ensure that they are not around to actually knock him off his throne, as was prophesied.
Into this ring, he poured his cruelty, his malice, and his will to dominate all life. One ring to rule them all. One by one, free lands of Middle-earth fell to the power of the ring. But there were some who resisted.
So I want to talk a little bit more about, some of the symbolism here in terms of Saturn as well. The Lord of the Rings, right? Representing time, death. In some cases we can see, the Cronus or Saturn with an hourglass and all this as well. It's quite interesting when you get into it, and I even think that there is a hint of this in the most basic, the NASA logo as well. Many people say it's a rocket taking off with this kind of V or U-shaped, but that looks to me like the red rings of Saturn around a blue planet. What do you make of that?
I learned from what my reading, and one of the things he gets is that there's this Lord of the Rings, like Saturn, and his name is Sauron. And Sauron is obviously, so close to the Mesopotamian dictator Sargon, who invented time, literally invented time. He invented clocks and calendars and schedules and really delivered the world into the linear, monochronic world that we live in right now. The world before that was polychronic, but Sargon created the monochronic world and really thrust us into civilization, if you want to call it that. And so he understands this, Tolkien, and he's trying to show us that the Saturnian power came in and forced us into a kind of slavery, wrecking the planet, destroying the planet, and using up all the energy of the planet for its own devices. We don't really know, reading Lord of the Rings or watching the movies, we don't really know what it is that Sauron is trying to accomplish. Not really. And outside of conquering the world. And what it is he's trying to destroy the elves who know too much and have too much power, and he's trying to trap the earth into an energy-sucking thing, and he's creating half-breeds of clones, the orcs and all those, who are not really human, and they're only partially human, just like the archons. And he knows all this, and he's reading all this, and he's he's absorbing it and he's getting it, and so this knowledge was in our own histories, and it has been wiped out by these archons, these forces that don't want us to figure out, what's going on.